Welcome to Meganet Gaming, and today we're going to look at a game. It's been a little while since I've done a review. I ran out of titles I've played all the way through for the most part, so it's time to play through a few more new ones, get some new reviews out, and this is one of them. I've actually played the original game in the series, and it is Carmageddon Max Damage, which is an updated version of Carmageddon Reincarnation. Carmageddon Max Damage was released on July of 2016 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, but the version we're looking at today is going to be the PC version, which was released on October 28th of 2016. This is a vehicular combat game for the most part, more so than a pure racing game. It's definitely not a racing simulation, neither in its stated approach nor in its actual gameplay. Original Carmageddon is one of those classic games. It's quite a bit of fun. Doesn't have a lot of depth, but much like Twisted Metal, is a fun experience nonetheless. So let's see if this game recaptures some of that magic of the past game, or if it's just a cash-in with nothing really to offer. So let's go ahead and pull up some game footage. As far as the graphics aren't the most impressive, but they're sufficient for the game. And on relatively modern hardware, the game runs just fine. The music is generic metal and dubstep and some electronic tracks mixed in. Nothing notable, but nothing that's annoying either. It's all fitting for the game, but nothing that you'd go out and buy a CD of. So let's go ahead and get the game up and running. However, one thing I did notice with the game was a lot of loading screens. The loading times were quite ridiculous, and it might have been because I was doing it on a spinning disk hard drive. However, on that same hard drive, I have quite a few other games that take a fraction of the time to load. And just to name some of those games include Planet Nomad. Takes about half the time to load. As well as, let's see, Vaporum, here's Through the Woods. Both games in the Suffering series. There's, let's see, what else is on here? Risen 3, Night in the Woods, Mountain Blade, the Metal and Honor games, Gothic 3, Hollow Knight, Full Spectrum Warrior, 10 Hammers, Free Space, Delta Force games, Doom 3, Journeyman Project 3, Pause, Rhyme, Runaway, Shogo, Slain, Star Control, Origin, SWAT 4, Tacoma, Silver Case, The Void, We Happy Few, Wings of Prey, Ziggurat. Out of all these games, the game I had the longest loading times was this one, and some others on there as well. Well, even though a lot of those are older games, the ones that are newer, I'd expect a longer loading time. As far as the game itself, you have the on the hood view, you have the cockpit view, and you have the outside the car view. All the views are playable, and none of them look bad. And there's quite a variety of enemies as well as tracks, and the tracks, despite using some repeating textures, are quite fun to explore. There's a lot of ramps and a lot of stuff you interact with, and they throw in they use the way the checkpoints are laid out and everything makes sense. It's very logical maps that are quite well designed for what you're doing, being a mix between more traditional tracks you'd expect from a racing game to more stadium style experiences. There's also a variety of stuff you can run over for points. You have the people, you have vehicles, and people include people in wheelchairs, you have businesswomen, all kinds of people, police officers. And the pace of the game, the speed of the game is quite appropriate as well. It's very fast paced. Quite a bit of fun. I definitely enjoyed this game. And you unlock stuff as you progress, which does add a bit of a grindy element. But nonetheless, setting that aside, it's quite a fun experience. It's also multiplayer, which I didn't have a chance to test out. But if I do test out multiplayer, I will update the review to discuss that as well. Where this game fails, though, is with two things. First, the physics. Well, actually, three areas, but they're kind of tied together. The first two are physics and realism, which are a bit unrelated to a degree, and I'll explain that. With the physics, I ran over a body. This person standing up, I ran over just fine. I hit him in the middle of the road later on. My car flipped over and was totaled and broke in half. I don't know what kind of dead body would create that scenario, but it really doesn't make any sense either on a physics level, considering a car isn't going to break in half and flip over like that from just hitting a smashed body that's already ran over by a car. And the realism, give an example, the realism is being able to drive underwater. These definitely aren't waterproof vehicles, and considering what I drove underwater with numerous car issues, that obviously doesn't work. But considering it's an arcade game, I'm willing to set that aside. I'm actually willing to set aside most of that, but not the running over a body flipping the car. That's a bit extreme. The other issue is just vehicle controls. I tried a gamepad as well as the keyboard. Both items which I've used with racing games with no real issue. Even though I'd prefer the wheel and pedals, I've had no issues with numerous other racing games with that setup. With this one though, this thing's like you're driving on an ice rink at all times, and it's not uncommon to be going quite slow down the road. You barely turn and you end up spinning out. You spend most of the game actually just spinning out and trying to recover, more so than you spend actually colliding with cars. And when you have other cars coming at you, it does become quite frustrating. Oh yeah, and there's one more issue. The AI. The AI in all the difficulties is rather atrocious. It wasn't uncommon to see a vehicle driving into a wall that's an enemy vehicle, or to see them stuck, or to see them just sitting there to be ran over, or backing themselves into position to be hit quite easily. And then other times they seem like they couldn't miss, but for the most part they were just really dumb, like they were asking to get hit. Well, if it's just some random cars driving down the street acting that way, it's not a big deal. But when your actual contestants are acting that way, combatants are acting that way, it takes quite a bit of the fun out of the game, considering that's supposed to be the challenge, is knocking these other people out of the race. However, overall, it was quite a fun experience. Well, the price of the game is $16.99 on GOG. If you enjoy this type of game, that's actually a rather fair price for it. I'm not complaining about the price. I'm just complaining about the issues of the game as if this were a full price game. And I would not, if it was $40, I definitely would not recommend this game. As far as where I'm going to rate it on the list, I am going to put it, let's see what's on our list. I'm actually going to put it in the C+ range. While it is quite a bit of fun, the issues with the AI, the physics, and the car handling are just too much to overcome for this game to really rate it much higher. And considering other things I have on that list in that area, I do believe it's a better game overall, taking everything into consideration, than the PC port of Twisted Metal 2. But as far as where I'd put it in the list, I'm going to put in the C+ range, above Hugo's House of Horrors, and right below Catacomb Abyss. Like I said, if you enjoy this type of game, it was a lot of fun. And If you can overcome the control issues and look the other way with some of the crazy physics, then you'll likely enjoy this title. If you're looking for something that's more realistic, definitely look for a different game. And if you're just looking for a better racing game in general, I would say stick to the Need for Speed series, or even a game like Flat Out 2, which is one of my favorite racing games of all time. Hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.